So
How did we do this last time?
I don't know. You backed it up some, bro.
That's what they left out.
I knew that.
I remember that perfectly from the book.
We talking about that YouTube band.
immediately from the jump.
On the couch like damn, what a slam. It's back to you, grouches. My crew just might roll on you like TP.
Hey guys, welcome back to Lost Legend TV. We are
Rated MC.
I'm Ray.
I'm James.
Skylar.
And he's back again.
Yeah, we had Skylar on the Nightmare ranking video, if you remember him.
You probably don't. You probably don't.
He's got a forgettable face.
Yeah, very forgettable.
We just got back from the theater watching the highly anticipated It Chapter 2. I want to save mine for last.
Okay, before we start talking, again, so everybody knows, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Okay, we are going to be talking about the entire movie, everything about it. So if you have not seen the movie and don't want to be spoiled,
Back up.
just holla at you. Go watch it and then come back and watch it.
Watch
again.
our previous video, then come back.
Yeah. Waste some time.
Yeah. While you're watching the movie, just go down the playlist.
This movie's pretty good. You should definitely watch it.
It's alright. It's
All right. So you want to talk about last? So I'm gonna let you start it off. All right. So overall, what is your feeling of the movie?
I thought this was a very good companion piece to the first movie.
Okay.
This ended the story. I don't want to say perfectly. I mean, the whole mythology about the book, and if you know the story about it, I mean, they fought it in its final form, and that can be kind of sloppy. But overall, the cast in this movie, oh my god!
Yeah, I can't. I don't know if I could say anything bad about the cast because
we was talking about like the comparison between the adult version and the kid version, spot on.
on every single one of them,
It's like they literally grew up to become those people.
yeah. There wasn't anything particularly that I didn't like about the movie. One of the biggest things that I'm not a fan of was the fact that it was so long. Like,
This is a long ass.
I feel like there could have been some things cut out, and it still would have been fine.
It's a 3-hour movie if you don't know.
It's basically end game for horror movies.
The cast was amazing. Bill Hader was fucking amazing. Like
What they did with his character, that was beautiful.
yeah,
I think.
he did it right. There's one scene that we were talking about it where like he imitated Pennywise. Like
Perfectly, bro.
perfectly. Like they went down to this little hats that Ben had made when they were kids, and they went down there and he just disappeared for a split second.
Time to float.
And he did he did it perfectly. It sounded just like Skarsgård, like on point. I remember you said your favorite part of the movie was when he was doing
Where
makeup.
he was, where it was in Bev's old apartment, and it switches to like, I don't know, I don't want to say an 1800 setting. That's probably what it is, but you see Bill Skarsgård without the makeup on, and he slowly starts touching his face, and you can see his face morphing into Pennywise. That was my favorite part of the
It
movie.
was like slow and everything. Like he was slowly putting the paint on and everything as he was talking. I did like how the last time he went over it and like
He
somehow
basically
made
ripped-
cuts on his face and
Yeah.
shit. How did you feel about Stan in the movie? 'Cause
Stan-
I didn't think they were gonna do the thing at the end with like the letter. I didn't think that was gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm glad they did that because we was talking in the theater and I was asking him about because I've only read like half the book.
I've read the whole book like maybe.
And I know the
3
whole
times.
story, so
Yeah, I'm glad they gave Stan closure on this one. But he didn't have a lot of screen time. But I felt like
as an adult,
he was avenged in a very good way.
I would say
You know.
in the miniseries, his death scene is more effective there because you don't in this movie you don't see him writing on the walls or you don't see that. It's basically like quick flashes and then he's gone. But other than that, I mean, like I said, the casting of him was perfect.
There were some things, of course, that I didn't expect. The opening scene, where like they're at the fair, and those two guys,
The gay couple.
the gay couple, and that just felt like out of place. Like not out of place, but like out of nowhere. That's what I mean. Like,
well, I remember that from the book.
The reason that I think that had to happen was to set up that
the whole
in this time period that we're living in now, that kind of thing is relevant because that kind of stuff really does happen to people.
Yeah.
You know, not in that.
No, not as graphic as a group of dudes beat the
absolute holy hell out of this dude for no reason at all.
But I get what you're saying. They include it to try to not boost morale, but basically boost morale in society.
I think it was more of to set up the whole Richie thing. Honestly,
that would go hand in hand with
it. Yeah, because like I said, because if you start watching it and you saw that, why did they come out of nowhere and just beat the fuck out of this gay couple? You know what I mean? I get it. There are racist and insensitive people in the world, intolerant of people's beliefs and cultures, all that shit. I get that.
That's just life, you know?
That's life. But I just don't see why it had to happen right there. And looking back at it now, I feel like that was because they were setting up for Richie. Because in this movie, Richie was gay. Like, he didn't outright say it at all in the movie.
They telegraph it perfectly, though.
Yeah, like they kind of like paint the picture like a little bit, like, because they do the part where like they go back and they show you what happened when the kids split up before the end of the first movie. And what Richie did is he went to the movie theater and he went and played Street Fighter. And he played against this dude and they were having fun. Richie beat him and dude was about to leave and he was like, hey, I have an extra coin. If you want to play, we can play again. And buddy's cousin came through, and his cousin was, of course, Henry Bowers. And then when he did that, he immediately looked back at his cousin and changed his tone up completely and started calling Richie a faggot. Excuse me for saying that, but that's what he said in the movie. So, but he started calling him that just to kind of
being a douchebag. Yeah.
Be a douchebag because like I don't know if he felt that way or nothing, but he didn't want to show anything like that in front of his cousin.
Yeah, because it seemed like he was kind of into the idea.
Yeah.
But he had to put on a different persona for Henry Bowers.
Yeah.
Probably or he'd get his ass kicked.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Henry Bowers, that dude in this movie, he was crazy in the first movie, but Jesus Christ.
That man was killing that shit, bro.
And I think that's like the strength of that actor because in the first movie, I thought that Henry Bowers was way too over the top. Like, he's always constantly screaming, like, you know.
It still wasn't bad.
It wasn't
but
bad.
I get you.
Yeah.
But this guy, yeah, like, he had moments where he was, like, scaring people, like, out of nowhere. Like, you weren't expecting it. Like, I did not expect him to stab Eddie in the fucking mouth.
I didn't see that.
I thought Eddie was dead then.
Yeah. Me too, man, because I was like, what happened? You know, because they're swapping shit around, but like a badass, he pulls it out, and spoiler alert, he pulls it out of his fucking cheek.
You already said it again. He got that again.
And he stabs the motherfucker like a badass.
And then
what was cool is because like, he was like, he's just laughing with everybody, like, ha, like he's that fake laugh, and then he's hiding in the shower for whatever reason, pulls it out, and then like Bowers tries to come to him through the curtain, he just stabs through the curtain, and then walks out. Hey, Bowers is in my room, guys. I love the thing he said at the end, though, like, you should shave the fucking mullet. It's been 30 years, sorry. Like, he just, it was hilarious.
There was a lot of intense moments where they would crack in a joke that, and it wasn't cheesy, but it worked.
Yeah.
You know? Going back to Bill Hader, I've never been a fan of him. Honestly.
Damn,
I haven't. But his role in this movie earned my respect 100%. So now I got to go rediscover him because he played a role that would be hard to follow in the future.
Yeah, that was on point.
I honestly think he was actually better than Finn Wolfhard, in my opinion.
I don't know, because Finn was killing it. But he really came through. You know
he came through and did his thing, man.
Yeah. I don't know, because the guy who played Eddie was different than how Eddie was as the kid. Not that it was a bad thing, but you could clearly tell he was different. And for some reason, they kind of portrayed that in the flashbacks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because Eddie wasn't the type of person to, like, in the original, to, like, go out and, like, sit on that thing. Like he sat in a hammock with Richie in that little bunker that we talked about with Ben made. And that didn't seem like it wasn't something he would have done in the first one. You know what I mean?
Eddie, like you said, Eddie's performance as an adult was.
Yeah,
it was
completely different. Now he did revert back to Eddie towards the end because he started freaking out and being scared and shit. That's where like it came in, and like whenever they were like messing with him at the thing about his mom or whatever, like yeah, you could tell that was him. But like there were certain moments where he didn't come off like that.
They take certain things about the child actors and they put it into their characterization. Like there are certain tics that the child actors have, and you can definitely see it in their performance as well. And that's like I'm saying, it was like a perfect transition from a child into an adult.
Like that one scene with Eddie where like he was an adult and like it kind of like faded into the what's called.
Like their performance is almost symmetrical.
Yeah,
just more mature. You know, like it's very well done.
That blood scene was fucking insane.
That callback to the Shining.
Yeah, they had a callback to the Shining. They had a callback to the Thing. But like,
they had a cameo from the original Ben.
Stephen King's in this movie, guys.
Stephen King cameo.
Yeah, Stephen King cameo. He played a shopkeeper.
He played the shopkeeper at the antique
even
shop.
Like even if you look at it, like the girl from the pharmacy. Like the girl who's like even her, like as an adult, was on fucking point. Yeah. Like I don't know, it's just like they went out of their way to find people who would be perfect for that specific part. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean they did a great job. But in the movie, not only with the actual character transitions, the movie itself had awesome transitions as well.
Yes.
It's very hard to explain, but once you see the movie, it's very well done how they go from kid, adult. Like the actual scene, it's very clever.
What was your favorite scene?
Well, I would have to think about that. Because that goes into what I don't like about the film.
Okay.
If you want me to get to that.
Well, hold on. Let me, because one of my favorite scenes, like, I'm really big into comedy and stuff. One of my favorite things was like the not scary at all. Scary door, very scary. Yeah, I was hoping they would go to the scary one because he didn't say, "I hope he's a puppy. I hope he's a little Polynesian." Like when they saw his true form, and when that happened, I was like, "That's dope. That was dope."
It just shows like the tiny detail of Pennywise listening at every moment.
Yeah,
you know, it just plays forward and it's fucking excellent.
Go ahead and get into whatever you didn't like about it.
Okay, what I didn't like about the film, the only cons for me, is when I saw the trailer, I was very disappointed. The very first trailer I saw, because it looked too CG, and I had this fear that they was going to take Pennywise and use him as a CG character rather than an actual practical character.
Yeah.
And that turned out to be true. There wasn't a whole bunch of times in the film where Bill actually played like a non-CGI Pennywise, you know? Besides that one scene, he was a CGI character.
It's not a perfect, like, I could tell the scenes where he was practical and he was CG, but there's not a good mix of it. I mean, especially at the end of the movie when you see his final form, that is probably the weakest part of the CG for me.
I still don't think it like in any way devalues the movie though.
No, it doesn't. CG, when it's done right, it can enhance a film. Yeah. But when it's done wrong, it really depends on the situation.
Well, like I was telling them, like I didn't really even notice it until Skylar pointed it out. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention for it. I was just like enjoying the movie, like as it was going through.
Yeah, what he's talking about is we came to the loser Ben, and he's the only one that you can tell has been CGI'd. How they de-age him, and I think you said because he lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, he did. He got really buff after the filming of the first movie, and it's also because when they had first filmed It Chapter 1, they was maybe 13, 14, and they probably hadn't have hit puberty then.
I guess he must have spiked.
Yeah, he must have. A lot of them spiked hard, especially the one who plays Mike. If you look at him now, he's like Dude's a young Muhammad Ali, I'm telling you. Dude's crazy.
The CG is like anything else, like when they're at the buffet.
Yeah.
And they're eating, that's very well done. A lot of the Pennywise, when they do use it, is very well done. But some of it, for me, was a little over the top. You know? Some of it was very weird, which I liked, but some of it was just, to me, unnecessary.
I get you.
And it kind of threw me off.
But I feel like that was something like that would fit at least Bill Skarsgård's version of Pennywise. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which I'm not, with Pennywise in the Tim Curry version, you had absolutely no CGI.
Because
so maybe
back
I'm
then
just
there wasn't any CG.
Maybe I'm just going in to the standard of
there wouldn't be any, or
not that there wouldn't be any. It's just I don't know. There was the ending when his fucking face falls out like a goddamn balloon. I didn't like that.
That's absolutely terrible.
But the heart, when they crushed it and raised it up, I like that.
Yeah.
So it's like a weird mix of that.
I kind of wish they just like had him as like a regular ass clown when they did that. I thought that's what they were going to do, and they made him, like, small for whatever reason. I also thought at one point when Richie took off his little pincer or stabber or whatever, I thought he was going to stab him with it. It didn't happen. I didn't expect Eddie to die for real, even though I kind of know, like, the story. I just didn't expect them to actually go with that. I figured like they were going to change some stuff.
Well, I saw it coming, and that's another thing. There wasn't one jump scare I didn't see coming.
Well, I knew, like, when he was like, standing over Richie, I knew that was going to happen. But, like, going way before that, like, I wouldn't have thought going, like, oh, he's going to die on the end of it. I also didn't think he was going to catch Richie, like, mid-throw. I thought he was going to try to throw another one, then he was going to catch him.
Well, it's not like the jump scares were bad. They're not. It was good. It's just I predicted literally every single one of them. But it's fine.
And we haven't really touched on the really big thing about this movie that everybody probably wants to know. What did y'all think about Pennywise in this movie?
Just Pennywise?
Yeah.
Fucking amazing. Like, every scene that where, like, Bill Skarsgård was playing Pennywise was amazing.
My favorite scene, other than the one where he's putting his makeup on or whatever, was when he's on top of that statue with with Richie, and he's talking about, I know your little secret, you know?
I really like how like they played with like the audience too for that scene, because like the audience was normally just moving normally beforehand, and then once Pennywise showed up, they were just all like kind of staring and shit, and then they were all doing like a weird movement, and then when he was like, this isn't real, close his eyes, like they stopped, so I was like, oh, well, maybe it's over. I knew it was coming, but I thought it was cool that they did that instead of. So they made the jump scare of him still there.
And that's the thing that I think elevates him in this movie other than the first one, is because in the first movie he was kind of in the shadows, like he didn't want to be seen or whatever. But in this movie, he's fucking everywhere. He's in broad daylight. He's doing his thing, and he kills it the whole time.
No, he does.
Like those scenes where he kills those kids and shit, because like I wouldn't have expected it because it's the adults. I figured he was going to watch the adults the whole time. But
man's got to eat.
I guess, yeah. Like the moment old girl, like she said that, because the little girl follows a lightning bug. Like you said, her mom obviously didn't care with the old girl.
She didn't give a fuck.
Didn't even look in that direction. Like she's watching a game. Your daughter literally just said something to you 2 seconds ago. You couldn't look to the left. The game wasn't that good. I watched it. That was the one part where the acting looked terrible. Because if in baseball, if I'm the pitcher and you're the catcher and I overthrow you and there's someone on third, fucking take off that ball. This video kind of like, no, run. That game obviously wasn't. They obviously weren't into it. Maybe they did that intentionally because of the town. But she walks down, goes to one of the bleachers. Like there's Pennywise, right? And she said, "You're not my friend," and walked away. I was like, "Yes, thank you for being smart." And then he started crying, and it's like, "No, stop!" But like the moment he stopped counting, I was like, "Okay, yeah, he's about to kill this little girl." Yeah. And I hated that. I was like, I didn't want to watch. And he just chopped right in her head. I didn't know if they were going to show it or not, but he chopped right into that girl's head.
The best child death scene in this movie
was the dude at the fucking carnival. And
he just fucking explodes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Gruesome. Towards the end of the film, The whole thing's climatic, but you could kind of feel the runtime nagging at you after a while. I feel like they could have really summed it up a little bit more.
I felt they could have cut some of the stuff down.
Yeah, because they kind of spend a little. Well, they didn't spend a whole lot of time, but a little more time than I wanted recapping the first film.
Yeah, like the beginning, I don't think we should have started off with that. I feel like we should have started off with the gay couple and stuff. Just moved ahead to it. Yeah. I get that's what you needed to talk about that.
The thing that I think they could have cut down on specifically is the scenes where they basically recap the first movie. Like, not saying all of the flashbacks, but the ones that we've already seen. Mm-hmm. They could have cut those out completely because...
Something else I wasn't expecting was when Beverly was leaving and she was with old buddy. I did not expect him to just beat the shit out of her. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, yeah, because when he first talks, he kind of plays you like he's this nice guy.
Like he's legit. It's okay. Like, and then she said like she has to go see her friends and everything. She said, I'm sorry, it's last minute. He's like, that's okay. And then she starts to walk. He's like, I trust you. She starts to walk away. He grabs her wrist, and at that moment, I'm like, this man's about to beat the fuck out of her. And like he did, like he literally at one point just straight up punched her in the face.
Yeah, bro. When he takes that belt and just beats the shit out of her.
I don't think he really got too many hits on that because like it looked like if he did, he hit her arms and that hurts. But he punched her straight in the fucking face.
Right hook.
Yeah, straight in the mouth.
Another thing that I wanted to touch on is like whenever they grow into adults, the problems that they had as kids are there. It's just in a different, it's in a different form. Like, especially with Ben, like Ben's always been alone, and now he's this successful architect.
But he was still alone, bro.
He still doesn't have a woman in his life.
You say that, and there's a scene where he's taking this conference call, and that's the cameo from the original Ben. He stands up, and he's not wearing shoes and shit, but he's in this giant fucking house with nobody.
Yeah.
That makes...
He has absolutely nobody in his life.
That really takes into what you're talking about.
What was one thing that really did catch you off guard? Like, because I know you said you called every jump scare.
It wouldn't be a jump scare.
Yeah, I know.
Because, I legit called every jump scare. Something that caught me off guard.
I was going to say it's probably the Richie thing, him being gay. Because you didn't catch it when we caught it.
Yeah.
Because, throughout the film, we was talking on the way home, and I still didn't catch it. But now it makes sense. Because he was the only one that wasn't married, wasn't in some kind of relationship.
Yeah, because they had a scene where they were sitting at the restaurant. Yeah. They were sitting at the restaurant and everything, and, they were asking him, he never got married and everything. He was like, no, you didn't know. I got married to your mom, talking to Eddie. They were cracking jokes about it. But, it was just him playing it off. And, like I said, looking back at it now, it makes sense.
It's not a bad touch though because the chemistry they had was beautiful.
Oh, it was. I just didn't think it was. When he carved his name or the initials in there, I didn't think it was going to be R and E. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it wasn't like he just now did that because he did it earlier in the film as a child and then went back and touched it up at the end because Eddie dies or whatever.
Another thing that I noticed immediately, and y'all was talking about Richie's mom. The same actress that plays Richie's mom plays his wife. Eddie's mom.
She played his wife.
She played his wife.
He basically literally married someone just like his mom. One of the things that I didn't particularly like, it wasn't even it was a bad part, it was the part where he was down in, where Eddie was down in the pharmacy, basement or whatever, and... it showed he was supposed to save his mom, and he ran into a leper as an adult, and he's choking it because he's finally feel like he has the strength to stop it, and then just out of nowhere it spews this liquid on him. I don't understand why it did that. Second thing is I don't understand why they played a song when that happened, and it was a love song, and I was like, it caught me off guard.
It was random as hell, and then just abruptly ended.
Yeah? I don't know. Other than that, I didn't have any problem with the movie. Like I said, I enjoyed the movie. And we basically explained all the parts, the ending and everything. I enjoyed it.
The final thing I would have to say is I'm glad this one had closure.
Yeah.
You know, the miniseries had the Tim Curry laugh at the end to leave the door open. This one really don't. Not that you can't take it further, which they probably won't.
No.
But it came full circle for the losers and gave a happy ending for most of them. He gave closure to Richie
And Stan.
It's a great movie.
And I like how they like kind of cut it back to the kids, and they kind of like after the first time they kind of just like ride off and everything. I mean, I don't know if I liked it better than the first one.
It's not better than the first one,
but it's still really, really good. Like I would definitely recommend seeing it.
So if you had to rank it 1 to 10,
1 to 10. The first one was probably an 8, so I'll probably give this one a 7, but still really fucking good.
I'll probably do a 7 too. For me, cause see, I've read the book multiple times, so seeing these characters come to life, seeing all of their stories come to an end, everybody had their own character arc in the movie, which 7 character arcs is absolutely crazy. That's
a lot to juggle.
commendable. And I also have to commend the director of this movie. The director did a really good job. This movie would have been better with a better writing team.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
It's still like I said, it wasn't bad.
It's not a bad movie.
It's not at all bad. Also, something else they could have cut was the scene where like he was at Warner Brothers.
Yeah,
like they could have cut that.
That's kind of on the cheek, to be honest.
You could have just like cut that and just talk, because they were basically saying that he didn't write good. He could have just had a conversation with his wife on the phone or some shit and knocked that out. But there's a lot of really good things about this. Like I said, I didn't have a problem with anything. It's just nothing that like caught me as much as the first one did. And the reason like I would say like an 8 is because something like Endgame, because I know you see, I know he hasn't. But like Endgame is so fucking phenomenal. That's like a 10, and I can't put it up there with it. Not that it's a bad movie.
I understand. So you give it an 8.
I'm giving it a 7. The first one was an 8.
I'll give it a 7 too.
If I had to rank it, I'll give the first one an 8.5, and I'll give this one an 8. Just because.
Yeah, I just don't do the little points, and he does it every time.
I have to, man, because I can't decide the 8 between a 9.
I got you.
But. The whole, I'm not sure why people's shitting on this movie, because it's a good movie. The whole team did an amazing job. The child actors, the adult actors, they maximized their fucking potential.
There was nothing wrong with the acting.
No,
there was.
The acting is
the acting was on point. I guess if there was a problem, maybe like story wise, because I don't know, like there's some of the stuff that could have probably cut out. They didn't really need. Like, the jump scares, even though you called them all, were pretty good.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Yeah. The CG did have some really fucking crazy fucking moments. But there wasn't nothing bad. It didn't catch me as much as the first one did.
I can't wait to see what this entire cast does after this.
Yeah.
Because there's really nothing that they can do that's going to top these roles.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see what the director does after this. Because if you didn't know, he's directing the Flash movie.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So, I think his take on like childhood trauma and growing up, I think that's the core of this story, and they did it perfectly. But like you said, there are some issues with this.
Like I said, nothing that bad.
It's hard to find a movie that's fucking perfect, though.
If you're just watching this and listening to the spoilers no matter what, you should still watch it. Don't just take our word for it.
Yeah.
Because it was good. It's hard to explain the movie. You know what I mean? It really was. But like...
Yeah, this video don't do it justice.
No, the good parts of the movie are really good. Like, there's not anything that's bad. It's just points to where like it was like, okay. Yeah. But like I said, I would still give it like, if you're going to go points, I'll do like 7.6, honestly.
Well, I'm going to give this one an 8 because I haven't read the whole book.
Yeah.
So this is the only thing I have to go by is cinematic. The miniseries, the first one, and this one. So, and I do like the first one a little bit better than this one.
Yeah.
But they expanded what you see in the miniseries and certain parts of the book that have to happen. Because you can't go off the grid too far.
No.
But it's a damn good movie, kick ass. You should really go see it.
Yeah. That's gonna be it for this video, guys. If you have anything you want us to look at, react to, or anything, leave it in the comments. Sky, you got anything you want to say to people?
Thanks for having me, guys. Hopefully I'll be in another video soon.
No, of course, bro. You're always welcome.
No.
All right. But that's it for y'all. Us, y'all. So deuces.
Adios.